Kip, Zahra, thank you so much for speaking to ABC Weekend Breakfast.
A pleasure, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
The story of Dracula has been interpreted in so many ways. In your retelling, what does the Count Dracula represent?
Our Count Dracula is very much a psychological monster. He kind of exists within each of the characters, and that's part of the idea of having Zahra play everybody, is that at various points in the show the vampire can emerge from all of them. And it's very much about this idea of the tension between fear and desire, which is incredibly present in the novel when you read it. Stoker's very much sort of arguing for his characters to be these puritanical beings, and the vampires elicit a kind of desire and sexuality within the characters that they are very much afraid of.
And you're doing it in this kind of newly dubbed style of cinetheatre. Can you just explain how the screen is being used as a device in that storytelling?
That landscape provides a much more kind of psychological portal into the memories and dreamings and subconscious of the characters. But you know, the kind of cinetheatre form that we've been using in this show is pretty thrilling and technically challenging, because at any given point in time, Zahra can be in a scene with 5, 6, 7 different iterations of herself, and she's there live on stage for the audience to see. She's live on the screen for them to see, captured by a live camera, and then there are multiple pre-record versions of herself interacting as well.
What's sort of exciting about the form is that hopefully, you know, I've some you know, people who have seen the show describe that as they move through the story and they get towards the end of the show, you stop trying to work out. You start just watching the scene happen, and you stop trying to work out, you know, which is live, which is the real, which is the pre-record. You stop segmenting them.
And some of your characters only exist on that screen, and you're the only one acting on the stage. So a lot of the time you're having to kind of act with these imaginary characters on the stage, while at the same time ignore the camera crew that is following you around the whole time.
Oh, I can't ignore them. I can't ignore them.
I mean, that seems like a feat of imagination.
That was, look, it was definitely, I've never worked in this form before. Finding a way to balance the tension of needing, recognizing, and fully interacting with a person who is holding a camera in front of you, but not endowing or imbuing them fully with what's actually happening in the scene. And so, you know, we're kind of in a dance with each other.
And I imagine that acting for the screen is a very different beast to acting on stage typically. I mean, how are you managing to meet the demands of both of those really different performance styles?
I kind of had to sort of not think about that too much and really lean heavily on Kip as the outside eye to balance those two things.
And you use both of those skills in this performance, but it also invites a third performance style that is a kind of hybrid of the two, and the audience goes with it because it is operating both live and on screen for them simultaneously. It's quite exciting to watch.
And I think also, you know, sometimes there's this idea that screen acting is small and theatre acting is big, but you know, there's a strong tradition, particularly in certain genres, quite operatic, you know, quite, you know, horror. We're in a horror genre.
And I think as an audience member, like, you hear Dracula and you want blood and you want fear, and we get that in this production. But there are a surprising number of funny moments as well. Where is that humour coming from?
We talked about this a lot in the making of the piece. Dracula and you know, vampire mythology is so well known, and for any contemporary audience you have an opportunity to play with the rules of the vampire myths, and we do quite knowingly play with them throughout the piece, often to comic effect.
Kip, it's your last production with the Sydney Theatre Company, 13 years with STC. How are you feeling about farewelling?
I'm in denial about leaving, but it's upon me, and it's just been the biggest honour to run the company over the years that I've had the chance to run it, and hopefully the next artistic director will have me back from time to time.
Well, good luck for the future, and you've both created something so special with Dracula. Well done, and thank you so much for the chat.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.